Ever feel like you work with a bunch of animals? Well, we actually do. We're going to talk about the ignitable liquid detection dogs on this edition of the Texas Insurance Podcast. Hi everyone, I'm Ben Gonzalez. Today we're talking with David Reeves and Thomas Cooley from the State Fire Marshal's Office about the Canine Detection Program and the new coworker that's joining the team. If you find this information useful, please like and subscribe to the Texas Insurance Podcast and share it with your friends and family. Hey David, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Excellent. Well, we're here to talk about the Canine program. So how many dogs does the SFMO have around the state?
We have 5 active canines.
And each one's got their own kind of handler or partner?
Yeah, that's correct. They live with them full time, so they're assigned a handler. We don't rotate handlers or anything else.
So they go home with them, they live with them full time?
Yes, sir.
Is that relationship building important for the job?
Sure. It builds a stronger bond between the dog and the handler. So
they can trust each other.
Exactly.
And know that you're not going to run them into somewhere dangerous. How is a working dog different than our family pets?
So working dogs have a different set of drives and character traits that we look for, different than what's found in most dogs that make good pets. Mm-hmm. Working dogs are typically much more active.
But their training also encourages them to have that drive, correct?
Oh, absolutely. That's what they want to do. They want to work.
And are all the SFMO dogs the same breed right now?
They're not. We have 4 Belgian Malinois and 1 German Shepherd.
Okay. How did you come to have that German Shepherd?
The German Shepherd has a pretty interesting story. So our lieutenant in K9 is Tommy Hubertus, mm-hmm. and a family friend of his runs a K9 breeding operation, and Harley came from that family friend. They had a fire in one of their kennels, and she was the last puppy rescued out of the burnt kennel. So she had some burn injuries when he got her, and he rehabilitated her, took her to the vet, got her all healed up, and she kind of became a family pet. And he noticed that she had the drives and the character traits that we needed to make her into a working dog. So it was getting close to time to retire his previous K9 Clear. So he approached me with the idea that we use Harley for a pilot program on this new training method that we were looking at. And everything just lined up right, and a star was born.
Oh, that's really interesting. So she actually had a fire experience earlier in her life, and now she's working to solve fires. And we also have the latest canine also was kind of an indirect acquisition, correct?
So K9 Linus came from the military working dog program from Lackland Air Force Base. They determined he wasn't suitable for explosives detection, that he was much more suited for accelerant detection. So we were able to acquire him.
So that's a good point. Working dogs can have different jobs and different detection skills. So what are our dogs looking for?
They're looking for things that could be commonly used as an accelerant. In house fire, they're trained on 14 different odors, but we've identified over 60 different commonly commercially available items that they will alert on.
And obviously they're not all here in Austin, so they're around the state?
Yes, sir. They're strategically placed in different regions of the state.
So the nearest dog can respond if there's a fire call. Then.
Exactly.
Do they go out automatically to each fire investigation?
Pretty much. There are some times when they may not be needed, and we do require that the investigator contact the K9 handler and let them make that final call.
The nearest one?
Yes, sir.
That's around there, but if it's obvious, you might not need them at the scene. When they get to the fire scene, what are they actually doing with their partner?
So they are actually searching for 14 different odors that they are trained on, mm-hmm. and they're looking for trace amounts of different items such as gasoline, kerosene, charcoal starter, things of that sort. Trace amounts that may remain even after the fire's burned and the fire crews have come in and done their suppression efforts.
So the residue of those accelerants they can detect that?
Yes, sir.
And does their detection become part of the evidence, or do you actually, that informs you of where you might want to take a sample?
Exactly. It lets the dog handler and the investigator know where they should take a sample from, gives them a higher likelihood of getting positive chemistry.
And that helps us, one, identify if something happened at that fire, and two, whether or not further investigation is needed.
Exactly.
Okay. And how successful are they at this job?
Oh, they're fantastic.
They're the best.
They're the best.
Are the commands that are given to the dogs special in any way?
Some of them are. Some of them are in a different language than English, and that can be for a multitude of different reasons, but it can keep anybody on the street from giving your dog a command.
Oh.
And it's also, many of these dogs are of European descent, so they may already know some of those commands, so it's easier for the handler to learn a few words in another language than it is to try to teach the dog a different language.
And I guess fire departments and also law enforcement around the state don't typically have their own canines, right? They call us?
Well, a lot of law enforcement has their own. It's just in this particular discipline in accelerant detection, there's very few around the state, so we're available to help anybody that we can.
Well, thank you so much, David. We really appreciate you telling us about the canine unit.
Absolutely.
David mentioned the latest canine to join the team, Linus, and we talked to his partner, Thomas Cooley. So like any other state employee, there are retirements and new hires, and this is our newest. This is Linus. He's one of the canine officers here, and this is his partner, Thomas Cooley. Hi, Thomas. Thanks for talking to us today.
Sure, no problem.
Tell us a little bit about Linus and what his personality is. He's been showing a lot of energy right now.
Yes, he's a 1.5-year-old Belgian Malinois, full of energy.
Yep.
He came to us from the Air Force, from Lackland Air Force Base.
And that's a little unusual, right? We don't usually source the canines through that.
No, he's the first one to be sourced. And Linus is our first attempt, and he's really done exceedingly well.
That's great. So why didn't they keep Linus for the work?
He had some issues in their program. Once he chases his tail, and he wasn't quite as aggressive enough. And he had his medical conditions when he broke his tail, and then biting his kennel, and he broke 2 teeth, and they had to extract them.
So his job over there would have been more of military use, right?
Yes, for like patrol work and explosive detection.
Okay, so a police dog kind of.
Yes,
And so our training took him a different way, correct?
that's correct.
So what did you have to do to train him?
He was initially just trained on odors were put in boxes. He was trained to go to the box and
detect different chemicals.
Right. And then from the boxes it went to cans, clothing, and then to hiding the odor in buildings.
So he's not a German Shepherd. You mentioned he was a
Belgian Malinois.
Belgian Malinois. Do they take commands in German?
He really had no commands.
So you could start fresh.
Yes. So my previous dog, his commands were in German, so I just continued
Okay.
that since I was familiar.
And there was a kind of a new approach that was taken that the SFMO developed for the training.
Yes, our previous dogs, they would alert and indicate with a pinpoint stare, or they would just look at and just stare at the source of the odor. Where our new dogs are trained to actually put their nose on the source of the
Right
odor.
on it.
So he will, lay down or sit or.
And how's he doing with that? Is he,
Very
is he
well.
ready to go to work, or is he already
Yes.
working?
Yes, he is. He was certified the second week of training. He's doing really well.
So now that you know what Linus and the other detection dogs do, watch this video to learn how your community's fire protection rating could affect what you pay for home insurance. If you've got insurance questions or fire safety questions, visit our website or call the helpline. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.